Friends, today we are going to discuss a very important topic that is used in industry to protect its structure, vessels, pipelines from external corrosion. It is called painting. If painting is not there due to corrosive environment, the lot of rusting will take place and equipment thickness will reduced and it will equipment will fail. So paint will help us to protect this equipment from external corrosion. That is very important activity that every industry have to do to protect its structure, equipment, pipelines, buildings from external corrosion. So before going to discuss different types of paint and its properties, just want to discuss here first what is the paint made of. Normally, the paint made of consists of pigment, base resin. It can be acrylic, it can be alkyd, etc., solvent and additives. Then pigments. What is the function of pigments? It give color to the paints and hiding and control gloss. So it give the color. Pigments give the color. Pigment can be of two types, that is called prime pigments and extender pigments. Prime pigments, normally we are using titanium dioxide for white color, chrome, green oxide for green color, yellow and red iron oxide for yellow and red color, etc. And this and the other pigments we are used called the extender pigments, that is used to increase its volume and to reduce the cost and control the key physical properties of the pigments. That includes, that is calcite, calcium carbonate, talc, that is magnesium silicate, like this mica, barium sulfate, etc. Resin. This is the important item of for manufacturing of paint. That is the binder to hold the pigments. The pigments we have told that give you the color. To hold this pigment, the resin are used. Resin are used to hold the pigment particle and provide adhesion to the surface painted. So this binder will hold the resin. Binder means the resin. Resin that will hold the pigments and that will provide adhesion to the surface painted. Then solvent. It acts as a carrier both pigment as well as the resin. Pigment means color, resin means that resin, that means binder, that is hold the pigment. That is mixed with the solvent. Solvent can be organic or water. Solvent can be organic or water. What is solvent? Now solvent substances ordinarily a liquid. It is a liquid where these pigments and your resin will be there, in which other material dissolve to form the solution. Means resin as well as the pigments will be dissolved in this solvent. Some common solvents are just like water, then ethanol, methanol, acetone, tetrachloroethylene, and methyl acetate, etc. So these are the solvent where the pigment and resin will be mixed. And then additives. Additives that we are using to enhance certain properties such as brushing, mold resistance, scarf resistance, drying, and sag resistance. So what is scarf resistance? Now scarf resistance is a specialized chemical ingredient such as wax. We are adding wax and fine polymers needed to protect the dried paint films for unsightly marks caused by rubbing. When you are doing the rubbing, then there will be a mark. There will be marking. There so many marks will take place. But if you are using these additives, that will help you. That is called the scarp help to avoid the scarp resistance. Scarp resistance. And additives that we are using, they are also different types. That is called, one is called dispersants, another one is called silicones, another is called dryers, another one is called anti-settling settling agents, bactericides, fungicides, and algicides. What is the dispersant? The dispersant is used to stabilize the pigment particles, to stabilize the pigment color. Pigment particles, it will stabilize the pigment particles. And silicons is used to improve the weather resistance. To use different type of weathers are there, so that to protect the paint from this weather, that is silicons are used. Dryers to accelerate drying system. Means when the paint you are applying, how quickly it will dry it up. That's why the zirconium, cobalt, lead, zinc, etc. you are using. Anti-settling agent mean to prevent pigment settling. Pigment can settle, very quickly settle. So that is, the liquid will be separated from the pigment. So that is also not advisable. So for that anti-settling agent, we have to use additives which will help for anti-settling agents. Bactericides means some bacteria, there may be some bacteria formation. So if you are using these additives, the bacteria formation will not be there. Fungicides and algicides means due to the weather condition, there may be some algae, or there may be some fungicides can develop on the paint material. So if you are using additives, then this can be avoided. What is dispersant in do in the paint? The dispersant used to avoid flocculation. What is flocculation? If you see before flocculation, you see the pigments are totally separated, evenly separated from and evenly mixed with the solvent. Then this is coagulant. You see, this is try to settle it down, and this is the flocculant, that is called totally the pigments are totally settled. So this will be without color. This will be all colors will be settled. So for that we are using dispersant additives that will not allow for any flocculant to develop any flocculant. Similarly, now when you are manufacturing, applying paint on the surface, that is surface called substrate, surface, then this is the procedure, this is the procedure, this is the steps we have to follow. First we have to, the substrate means steel, suppose steel, aluminum, whatever may be the bare material. Then we have to clean this bare material. Then you have to prepare the surface preparation. There should not be any grease, there should not be any rust. So you have to clean the surface, Then we have to apply the first primer coats. What is the function of primer coats? Now primer protect the substrate. Substrate means the base material. Base material, it will protect the base material. And finish paint, what is the function of finish paint? Now it is protect the primer. Finish paint will protect the primer. The primer you have used, that the primer will be protected by using the finish coat. What is the primer function? Now weights and adhere to the substrate, means steel or etc., and act as an inhibitor. Then intermediate, they are build the film thickness. There every paint having that some thickness, that for increasing the thickness we are using the paint, and that paint thickness build up film thickness. And then the finish coat, we have to apply the finish. First coat of primer, 2 coat of intermediate coats we are using with the paint, that will give you the thickness, and last coat we have to use the paint which will resistance to the environment, and provide the that will resistance to the environment and provide aesthetics, when a beautiful beauty of the surface, that will also play very beautiful color, and then it will protect from the environment. What a finish color, finish coat will protect, or paint will protect the primer will protect the substrate. Then primer, first we have to use the primer and sealer. What is the function of primer and sealer? Now paint mechanically grip. Primer function is the paint mechanically grip the surface. If the primer is incorrect, then durability of the paint system will reduce. If you are not correctly choose the primer, then it will not grip the surface. Then your paint, the total paint system will not work. What is the function of primer? Now provide a base for the paint system to adhere, to stick. Paint should adhere to the primer, and primer to the surface, then help to protect the surface. It will protect the surface. It will not allow the surface to corrode. Then evens out the porosity. If there is any porosity, it will fill the porosity and seals the surface, and surface totally complete the seal the surface from outside and form the barrier between the surface and subsequent paint system. It will so paint system, it will as a barrier for the base material and with the paint material. This is the intermediate is in between the primer is there. So function of primer. Then primer, what for primer? Why zincs are used as a primer? Because in the periodic table, if you see, zinc is anode to steel. Periodic table, it is up, above the iron. So it will corrode fast, and it will not allow the steel to corrode or iron to corrode or aluminum to corrode. So it will corrode fast. Because it is in the periodic table, it is in the upper side, so it will corrode fast. It will not allow iron and other material, base material, substrate to corrode. The apply primer where you have to flawless base. Primer makes the skin smooth. Not only that, it will not only corrode, it will not allow corrode iron. It corrode himself, and when it corrode himself, it make zinc oxide, and when it make zinc oxide, then zinc primer is also safe. It will not. The primer is also remain safe, and then it will make the skin protect from attack of any corrosion or any chemicals. Purpose of zinc. Zinc is, I have told you, it is periodically higher material, superior material than iron. So it will corrode fast, and it will not allow iron to corrode. And then when the zinc will corrode, it will form zinc oxide, and that will further protect the zinc. And then it will make the skin smooth and apply layer smooth and protect it from the chemicals. Now, zinc, there are zinc primer. Primer can be of zinc oxide primer, zinc chromate primer, red oxide primer. These are the three types of primer we are using. Zinc oxide primer is in modern evolution of the zinc chromate primer, used unpainted zinc chromate. Normally we are using unpainted aluminum or air cap application. We are using zinc chromate, and the zinc oxide, that are widely used in the industry. Zinc oxide primer is widely used. Zinc oxide primer highly regarded as for its ability to resistance corrosion. It resists the corrosion. Zinc is there, so it will resist the corrosion. Zinc chromate is also used, but normally it is used on aluminum or air capped application. Red oxide is consisting of iron oxide to protect basic ferrous surface. So iron oxide is also a superior material than iron, pure iron. So it will melt fast. It will not allow iron to ferrous surface to melt. So serve as a sacrificial anode and play same function as zinc chromate. Zinc chromate is also superior material. So it will corrode fast. Primer, but has a different chemical composition. Red oxide has the different composition. Here the zinc chromate and zinc oxide difference is there. Zinc oxide means zinc oxide and zinc chromate, and red oxide. And red oxide means iron oxide, zinc oxide means zinc oxide, zinc chromate means zinc chromates, the chromium are using. So these are the three types of primer we are using. And has a and red oxide they are using same function as zinc chromate or zinc oxide, but has a different chemical composition because it is used iron oxide. It is highly regarded for its durability, and name apply it color red. That's why its color is also red. So when red oxide you are using, red oxide so red oxide forming chemical primer undergoes a chemical reaction with iron surface and forming a insoluble, this is not soluble, compound called plumbates. Plumbates means Fe lead O2. Due to lead is there, that's why it is poisoning. That's why red oxide primer is nowadays not we are not using. Not using because disuse. We are not using because as lead are there, and after reaction it form lead oxide. That is lead is there. Lead is a poison. That's why we are red oxide primer is not used. Zinc oxide primer or zinc chromate primer is we are using as a primer. So red oxide primer and zinc chromate primer, difference. What is the difference? Definition is red oxide is tetraoxide of lead. I have told you lead is there, red oxide. That's why it is banned. Zinc chromate primary use coating chemical substance having the chemical formula Zn chromium O4, Zn chromium O4. Then corrosion resistance, it is less corrosion resistance towards corrosion, it is more corrosion resistance zinc chromate. So zinc chromate is better than red oxide. And then under disuse it cannot be used as lead is there. Here it is also lowered because due to toxicity, and its appearance is red oxide primer, that's why its color is red, and it is zinc oxide chromium, its color is green. Normally UL is green. So these are the different type of primer we are using. So friends, I think I have discussed everything about the main ingredient used to manufacturing paint, the purpose of the all ingredient, pigments that give the color, resins that give the binder of the that shape the pigments, then your solvent means water or other material it will mix, and then additives that we are using for different purpose. So if you go through these topics, all the slides, you will come to know the purpose of each items used for manufacturing the paints. And if you are satisfied with these slides, please make a tick mark and subscribe this my channel and help your friends to go through it. And there are so many topics are going to come, very interesting topic going to come when we are discussing detail about the paints. So you please be adhere and look at my channel. So one by one the different topics of paint will come, and if you go through these topics, your knowledge about the paint will increase, and you can support your management team what type of paints are required in your industry, what is the corrosion rate, what is the environment, etc. That will be discussed, and what is the area cover, etc. So everything will be discussed in detail. So I think you better subscribe this channel and extend this channel to your friends who will be beneficial. Thank you very much.